Seconds from now.
Alright. Yeah, Philly just said whenever you're live, let them know and they'll start rolling and doing stuff. Or maybe they've already rolled, have they? Phil got 2. Looks like Josh won prior.
Alrighty, we are live. Like you just said, it looks like Josh has gotten priority. Old Finkster rocking the strike better templates. Love to see it.
Ooh, Fink. Well done.
He knows the best way to get a good commentary is to rep the commentators' merch, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty, so if Fink is going to be getting priority, I don't actually know which way he goes with this. I mean, like, you and Reath have played this matchup. Well, not this specific matchup, but this pseudo matchup many times. In the times that you won priority, what would you go for?
Sorry, can you hear me? I'm just trying to...
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright, I'll jump back, thanks.
Against Phil, I 100% take extracts because Sin on her favoured extracts, which are assets, which if you look at his roster, he's got Hammers assets and the Montesi, which is an asset, is nasty.
Gentlemen,
Yo.
But I can hear Phil for the first thing he says, and then his voice just drops off.
There's a weird amount of lag going around right now. They're doing a big, there's a massive update on a heap of internet sites right now, so that potentially could be it.
Maybe just jump on the Discord game tables.
Yeah, try the game tables, see if it fixes it all.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll jump in and let him know. Thanks.
But yeah, against Philly J, if I win priority against his Sin option, I always take extracts to take a citizen, not an asset.
Yeah, I have not had the Sin play experience at its full power yet, but I have heard from like yourself and Reath and some other guys that if Sin can get that extract of choice, it is savage.
It's horrible, mate. It's really horrible. I think Sin's probably strongest in Phil's roster at 18, and I think Hammers is his best extract. 17 is actually fine as well. It gets a bit of a disparity, but I think the Hammer really synergises well with Angela and Sin herself with the rapid fire pistol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Sin would still have access to things like Dark Rain and etc.
Absolutely, yeah. So Sin, Hammer and Dark Rain is horrifying. But anyway, so look, if I was Josh, I'd be taking extracts, but I don't know what's going on in his head, and it looks like he went secures, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's going, let's have a look.
Well, he went
We got
sword.
sword.
So he's probably pushing for 14 then.
And Phil got hammers, so ooh, this could go either way.
Well, the beauty of Phil's roster, I think, or the horror of it, is that he's got the dual affiliation, but he's got the second option there of Red Skull, MODOK, Magneto as a 14 threat base, and he's wheeled that out a few times against me, and that's a real power squad. So Josh, while he might be thinking pretty comfortable about 14 threat, is he ready to face Magneto, MODOK, and Red Skull, who's just going to tear through his squad?
It's something I was to say about like Cabal and such is that the flexibility that single like affiliation roster can do is it's quite difficult to deal with. Pat, done for
I think Sin on her
big
own
old
is
legend,
okay
mate.
To deal
Thanks
with,
so much, brother.
Pick it, but having the option to go into a really narrow powerhouse attrition squad makes the matchup very, very difficult.
Oh, I bet. I've done all the theory on Sin, and it's enough for me to be like, okay, if I get a Cabal Sin player, I'll absolutely be taking extracts off them because the complete lack of agency that you can have against that style of squad is just savage.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. I really hope Josh goes 18. I can't see him doing it, but I hope he does because I want Phil to be able to demonstrate the power of this Sin 18 squad.
Oh, yeah, it's just... you're sitting there like, 18 is like, it's good for everyone. 14, yeah, smart. Yeah. But the old, 18 of... like that Cabal squad you're talking about where, like, that's just where Sin is, like, it's just exceptional. It is just... I kind of want to see it because I've actually not seen it played yet.
Well, the horrifying thing about it, mate, is that
Pat, thanks so much,
for
brother.
example, if you're not
Appreciate it, mate.
For it, and they roll at 18.
My man.
If Phil's sort of sin has priority, Angela grabs one side hammer and just retreats into a safety as she normally does. And if you don't have your own tech on the other side, Enchantress just heads up R&D and steals it, and that takes 2 off you. Now, your home hammer, if you put in a long moving small base, you can double move to get within range 2 of that home hammer carrier, unless they sort of grab it and run back into their deployment zone. So you can potentially get 3 hammers turn 1, and then top of 2, because you got Sin and Crossbones, you got priority. You can take their 4th hammer and double move away, and that's very difficult to recover from.
Oh yeah, I mean that's borderline like worst. That is literally the worst case scenario for a hammer
The
player.
other news though, Jay, Pat has, I'm just on your Twitch feed, has done a subscribe with Prime. I don't know what that means, but I think it's good.
It is good. I was just paying him some props before. I run push to talk on Discord nowadays, so that my Discord partners don't have to hear me just harping away as well.
Right.
But I try to keep it to a minimum, because especially if I'm doing something like this, if only things like subscriptions will draw me out of my stupor. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna close my door real quick.
Hey Pat, as Darren's doing his admin, who you back for this matchup? This is a pretty classic matchup, I reckon. The Sam Wilson into Sin. What are your thoughts, Pat?
Yeah, give it to us, Pat. Because I feel like Sin is like a very Pat style squad. You know what I mean? Like something he's got in his back pocket that he's not really telling anyone about.
I feel that's Pat with almost everything, though.
Yeah, good point. Pat just said, I'm a fan of this matchup. I'm playing Sam Wilson in the current season and played Sin in the second half of last season before the cut. So he's definitely got his reps on the table for it. We do have some rosters coming out, which is good. So we do have Sin, Crossbones, Zemo, Lizard, Okoye. That is an absolutely disgusting 14-man squad. And we are rocking Sam, Vision, Okoye, Black Widow, Iron Fist. That's actually quite a good little 14-point squad as well. And good to see that both have gone for 5 wide as well, because 4 wide swords against 5 wide can be very rough. Tactics cards wise, pretty stock standard. I mean, we've got Iron Fist, we've got Heroes for Hire, we've got Bitter Rivals. Only on Finkster's side, Avengers Assemble, Advanced R&D, and Field Dressing. So pretty stock standard there for an Avengers squad. And Reath has just gone quite aggro, which is the bit that catches me off guard with Sin, is how aggro you can play. So we've got Field Dressing, Dark Rain, Blind Obsession, and Sacrifice. Sacrifice is a card that has gone up in my book since I've started playing it to deal with Black Order, that is actually just good against everything.
Yeah, I started running that this season, and I really liked it. Especially, I found something.
Let me know, guys, if you get any feedback from my mic at all.
Or Enchantress.
Just shout out.
Just that one clutch attack, you just want to palm it off. So who do you favour, Jay, on the squad selection here? So, excluding the priority role, just on the crisis and the squad selection, who do you like better?
Well, that's a tough one. So I actually think I prefer... If Finkster had something that wasn't Black Widow, but he kind of has to... Well, he doesn't really have to go Black Widow. That could have been something else. I would have preferred Finkster's, because I find that Black Widow to be just kind of lackluster. And then he has 2 characters sitting at 4 health, which I'm not a fan of. We've also got... Reath has got Lizard, and I feel like Lizard is going to be basically unkillable in this matchup. Dead Baron with a follow and gifted subs, mate. You are unbelievable. Thanks so much, brother.
That's the obvious centerpiece for Josh there.
Thanks heaps, man. I really appreciate that.
Value out of Vision.
That means heaps. That honestly means a lot.
He's the big dog in this game. Whereas Phil's gone, he's running 4 3s. So I think if Phil just puts Crossbones away from Vision, that would be good. And it looks like Phil's gone for the damage, and Josh has gone for a bit more of the sort of resilience and control.
It's good, eh? Like, I don't know if you just noticed, but we had the Dead Baron just came in and gifted 5 subs, and you were one of the person that got gifted a subscription to my channel, mate.
What does that mean?
That just means you get some emotes, and if I happen... there's one there, little knight that spams out GG. There's some other stuff as well. but it's just that's for all your future Twitch. Like you can just use little Von emotes.
How do I? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna try and do it on my phone.
There it is. Drop it. Drop your first ever Twitch emote.
Thank you.
Ah, there it is. The cherry popped.
The Dead Baron, 101. You are my
Legend.
knight in shining armor to teach me how to emote on.
Thanks heaps, Dead Baron. I really appreciate that. Thanks heaps for the praise there, Dead Baron. It really means a lot. The thing about Sin Spam, though, is that it is very aggressive, right? It can just take priority because it's got a husband and wife style combo. But to top it off, like, it can be aggro, and he's got cards like Blind Obsession, Dark Rain. But also, because of how the Sin leadership works, it's can be also a little bit, like, he can maintain some objective control at the same time, which is very, very, very powerful.
Well, Sin's leadership, both halves of her leadership will be functioning this game. So the extract is very strong, but also the push on sword is very strong because you can get a double push effectively.
Ooh.
And normally you would say Phil would want to get priority and use that husband and wife, but I think on sword you're more than happy to activate last to get that last crack at the sword base.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Just actually try and maintain that final activation, at least for the first couple of turns, because if he can get some clutch, like you said, Sin leadership activations into a sword push, like that's... Double push on the right character can almost be more than a stagger, you know, it depends where you put him, but can be quite brutal.
So I like how Phil saved Crossbones to last here, because he could be quite vulnerable to Okoye and Vision, but particularly Vision.
Yeah.
So I think he did well there to hold him out last, and I think he's placed Crossbones nicely because Sam's shield throw can displace those size 2s, but Crossbones with his aggressive can just move straight back. So I think Phil used his advantage there nicely of losing priority, both with that placement, but also that truck. Sorry, I should ask what orientation you're watching this.
So much to my dismay, because it just happens to work out like that with the streamer view, but I always have the dice at the top of my screen, because then when you have streamer view on, it's reds on the red side, blues on the blue side.
So that bottom truck there, as we look at it, I think Phil did a nice placement to make it a bit awkward for Iron Fist to get to it, because I don't think Iron Fist is going to be able to get to that bottom sword or that bottom hammer based on that truck positioning.
Yep. Yeah, that truck is very awkward for him.
Which is odd because, Fink probably could have realised that and put either Sam or Vision on that bottom one to be able to go and have a crack at it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like you have to really worry about a massive damage output from Lizard either. So we have Reese on YouTube just said, personally would have went Cage, Iron Fist, War Machine with Sam Spam and Widow, although excited to see Vision. Vision used to be the king of 4 threats. And he hasn't gotten worse. There's just been better characters out there. So having a character like Vision at a low point bracket like this can be very, very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we've got Lizard coming up, taking that bottom one, which is what you would expect to see. Oh, he's interacting.
No, he didn't take R&D, I don't think, from memory.
No, Finkster has it. But and he has used it already. It looks like Widow's picked up the hammer and interacted with the sword. But it looks like he just took Lizard up to interact with the bottom sword, which shows you guys just how powerful sword is, that he's willing to go for that over the hammer.
Yeah, it's a good call, because that's his heat. Josh can't interact with that. No, he can't. He can't interact with it at all now, this turn. Or this round,
if it's Iron Fist on the bottom, he should have 2 power, but he has advanced R&D to Iron Fist power, so he can only do 1.
Yeah. Also like this matchup here, how Phil or Reath has Okoye at the top of screen next to Widow. I mean, Okoye is another good one into Widow, because Widow's got that terrible 2 energy defense.
Oh, yeah. This Vision is, I like that the Vision is in the middle of the board, because this Vision is going to have to do a little bit of lifting. Okoye has 4 health, but I mean, she can feel immortal, but Widow at 4 health can feel very, very, very vulnerable, which is why I'm a little bit nervous for it. Thanks, babe. Appreciate that.
What phasing did he start the Vision on? That's the other one I wanted to ask. He not?
I'll just ask.
I'll do it, because you'll get in trouble.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Vision mode. I'm sure it's called mode.
It's mode. It's like dense or phased.
pick that one up, or Phil might decide to go play it.
Is it you are an accuser nowadays? Is it a May or is it a?
Oh, Vision. No, Vision has to pick a side.
Yeah.
I'll just type it again. Can you see me type? Does that come up on your screen? Oh, there we go. Picked one. Good. I think he went. That's the physical. All right, Okoye's got right up in a grill. Going for a cheeky roll. But a sword is so dicey, man. I don't know. I've played games with Phil. Phil and I played this game a lot, actually. I think the worst run I had against him, he rolled 9 contested in a row. I was just like, oh my god.
Do you think Fink should have chosen something else at all?
No, I think it was a good choice. I think limiting Reath to 14 was good. Yeah, I don't know. If I was still Josh, I still would have taken the extracts to avoid the asset side of Sim's leadership.
Yep.
And I mean, people think differently about sword. Maybe some do, maybe some don't. I think sword is a very, very even scenario and a very dice-dependent scenario where it generally comes down to 1 or 2 50-50 rolls a turn to determine the winner or the point scoring each round, and then overall the winner. So I think you can both play, presuming both players play quite well, I think it's just a bit of a dice off on the sword rolls. And that's why I don't like playing it generally. Yeah,
that's fair. I very much prefer the style of interacting with the sword objectives versus other ones like deadly meteors and things like that. I just like that swords are 50-50 and that's the end of it. You never have to worry about rolling 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, that's like the deadly meteors, you're right. I do like that aspect of sword, and I do like that it doesn't matter if you're injured or healthy.
Yeah, exactly. It's irrelevant. You just get to roll and off you go. So Pat's just said, I don't think you should ever pick sword when you have priority. I agree with Morgan that it's very even and dice dependent, but the last player to activate has a slight edge, and I agree with you there. Like choosing a odd numbered extract when you don't have priority, right?
Yeah, maybe not quite as bad, but yeah, I mean, I tend to. I mean, it'd be hard to disagree with Pat about anything, I think, but yeah, it depends how well you're tooled for it as well. I mean, I think what Pat's saying is on the assumption that both players are quite competent and tooled for sword at 14, then I'd tend to agree that I wouldn't pick it unless I was desperately trying to avoid something and think might have been spooked by something at Phil's. I don't know. Yeah,
Phil was talking about. Phil was talking about if he won priority and he was going to pick secures and try and force something like demons for his kill squad because. He's got Magneto, he's got Red Skull, he's got MODOK, so if he's forced onto an E-shaped objective like Gamma, that's a 15-point squad that I just named right there that is truly terrifying in its output of damage.
Yeah. But generally I wouldn't pick. I mean, I've got sword on my roster because I felt I had to have a pay to flip secure. And I took sword because I think it's kind of pretty even. I don't know, but I generally wouldn't take it as a priority pick. I'll take it as a backup.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with you there. I don't think I've ever picked sword in priority, but I've never been faced with a decision either. So usually it's forced upon me when I'm playing.
Hey Pat, I'm just looking at your comments there. What did you run last season for your extracts on Sin? Phil's bit of a mainstay is hammers, and he sort of wiggled around between the other extracts, and he settled on Montesi as his backup, and then Herbs, I think, is just he likes it in general. But what were your 3 extracts last season? He's punching that in. So I think he's done Avengers Assemble to try and get a medium move and flying kick into Lizard to then try and pick up that hammer, which made me eat my words of said, hey, he's not going to be able to interact with it this turn. Well, he can with Avengers Assemble.
It does cost him his power, though.
Yeah.
So I bet with a medium move, he might be able to get a kick off.
Yeah, he will. Well, I
which is
assume
good. Yeah, we're assuming he can, that's a good play. I mean, it sucks to see him use Avengers Assemble to fix this up, but at least it is a fixable option for him.
Yeah.
So Pat said hammers, cubes, and spiders, and hammers and cubes are preference.
So it's interesting. I agree with probably those picks there, Pat, and I'm surprised Phil hasn't got cubes in his roster, and I can't remember why, because I think he did have it, but then he dropped it for Montesi, and I don't remember why. So this is an interesting move, though, by Josh using his Avengers Assemble. Like, I mean, that's a good card, and you blow it early it's worth a point, because he'll pick the up the hammer, which is good. But he might lose that straight away with Sin's leadership start of next round.
That is the concern, isn't it?
Yeah.
So no damage going through, and he gets a power and a teleport, I believe. Two questions here. We've got Deb Barron just is asking how he joins the Discord because he'd love to enter the TTS season next season if possible. If you've got my Von page on Facebook, just send me a message there and I'll flick you an invite. If not, if you ask him one of the main Marvel Facebook pages, there's a heap of guys that can flick you an invite to the Discord there. And Pat said he also dabbled with Research Station, and that was fine too.
Yeah, good call. I mean, especially I think the other part of Sin that Reath doesn't tend to play too much, but I think there's a good control part, similar to Sam actually, because you can use high numbers with that low threat leader, and then bring in that affiliated Enchantress with that nice control at 16. So I think that's a bit of money as well. But also the first part of her leadership on the pushing on the secures is very strong as well on research.
Yeah, exactly like you mentioned. You can get a double push, or you can actually try to stagger two different characters, right? I've been blessed that the only time I played Phil's Sin Spam, he managed to fail the roll on every single time he attempted it. So I'm concerned that I've got a skewed view of it, because I also know from chatting to you guys how incredibly powerful it can be.
Well, the thing that I find frustrating about it is that you can't plan. Well, I mean, I suppose you can plan for it, but you can't plan for it going off or not. In that it's just a 50-50 roll, and your only way to stop it is somehow to go outside of range 2 of your opponent. And what Phil will generally do is just double move a long mover and just stand within range 2 of you and go, well, if I get it, I'll take it, and then run away with priority.
Exactly, and he was trying to do that as one of his last activations, right? We see Simo's still sitting there.
Yep.
Is Sin a long mover? I believe she's medium, isn't she?
Medium, yeah.
Still strong, though. She can easily make that center objective. Yeah, it's difficult, like you said. Like, if you could save Avengers Assemble or something, you could try to mitigate a lot of it. But again, with Phil moving last with Zemo, it's kind of hard to stop at least one of them.
So I think Phil's probably kicking himself here. He didn't take Advanced R&D. Now he might say that for Enchantress plays, but I think in Sword, Advanced R&D is very strong. And as we saw that bottom of the screen where Lizard only had 1 power, and I think he probably rightly picked the Sword base, probably.
Yep.
But if he had Advanced R&D, he could grab, just reel one off from Okoye, who's top of screen, who wasn't doing anything anyway, maybe, or Crossbones.
Yeah.
Lizard could get both of them, which would have been pretty strong.
Very, very strong. And then Lizard with a hammer, as I learned from you last time, is very respectable.
I think Lizard's respectable anyway.
And he is, but once he goes to 5 dice and 8 dice on his spender and his builder, he all of a sudden can start to throw every turn.
So Philly looks like he wants to do...
Dead Baron Patch just flicked you an invite, mate, so hit that right there and you can join up.
Surprised by...
Yeah, maybe he's thinking, I've got some hammers, I might be trying to get a bit aggressive here, especially with only Widow, sitting up there.
Well,
potentially Sam coming up there.
I mean, I wouldn't be too keen on moving last year because Josh has got a bit of displacement in Vision's throw and Sam's shield throw. So it's not ideal for Phil to move to have priority. But, he might be going for the extract side. He might go, hey, look, if Widow can drop that hammer, Okoye picks it up straight away and throws a couple of nice, effectively 6 dice spears into her at range 2 and dazes her.
That's true. I mean, pretty good for a 6 dice Okoye attacks. I mean, that's basically a weapon of mass destruction at this point. Yeah, it's interesting. I think he potentially could also be playing the player a little bit. He mentioned before that he said that while he has a slightly off meta Sam spam style list, it's quite kind of, he normally plays it kind of aggressive, is what he was saying. Finkster plays.
Yeah, it's fair. It's interesting though that Avengers Assemble. I thought he might have moved up Sam as well because Sam could then get a shield throw to get the power back, and maybe displace someone or then move up
Yep.
again after.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially since now he's going to be able to move. It'd be interesting to see if he can move and attempt to do the movement shenanigans that Sam has. I believe is the what's it called?
Airlift. No, he'll need 2 power for that.
Need 2 power. I was saying if he gets a move and then gets a shield throw off, he might be able to do a division.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was Phil, I think I would have let Josh keep priority. I think. We'll see. It'll all depend on what he does with Zemo, and whether he gets to drop a hammer and take it with priority. I think that's what he's probably banking on.
Absolutely.
He's
Plus,
gonna
we're
have-
also looking at Vision doesn't have the power to pick up that hammer currently.
Well, he just does synthesis, right?
Yeah, good point. Good old Vision.
Also, I mean, looking at Sin's leadership here,
I'll get to that in
on
a
the
second,
extract
Reese.
side, Phil is going to have 3,
Sorry, mate.
well, presumably 3 goes at it, because I assume Vision will pick that up and probably go somewhere that Zemo can double move next to.
Yep.
So Phil's going to have 3 cracks at it, which means he's probably getting. Josh is going to drop
Minimum 1.
Either 1 or 2 of those hammers probably.
Yeah, which is I'd be kind of nervous at that point because I've always found with the hammer style games, I mean, at least it's happening early. You know, once you like lost a bunch of hammers to your opponent, you know, you're going to get hit very hard, so you're going to be powered up. But you know, depending when that happens in the game, it can be absolutely brutal. We've got a question from Reese. Said, good point with Vision. What do you think of a combo of Cap, Scarlet Witch, IF, and War Machine on sword, or do you think going 5 wide is better? I'll go first. I believe 5 wide is better because the last activation here is going to get the last go at the sword, which means that they can essentially push one of your damage dealers there, let's say Scarlet Witch, for example, which is a pseudo stagger, which means they can control your priority activation.
So what happened with Sam there?
It looks like he thinks they rolled a dice and he rolled a skull.
Man, that just showed, like, once again, such a swingy, because that effectively means Reath has won swords this round, which is massive.
Yep.
Okay, still on that.
Old Vision, I'm just looking at this going, he can do his power gain, grab a hammer, move to the middle. I can't see, no, okay, the middle is owned by Finkster, so that's good, that changes things. And immediately move over there and potentially get a double beam onto Crossbones and Zemo. Oh no, oh wait, no, yeah, that's right, because Phil took priority. I was like, hang on, Zemo activates last. No, Phil took priority.
I think I would have liked to see Zemo.
Darren Utility,
further up.
how are we, boys?
I know he stayed within range 2 of Sin there to give Sin rerolls, but looking at that, I don't think Sin's shooting anything at the moment. And then
No.
Zemo appears like he's out of range 2 of Sam and Widow.
Yeah, I mean, Zemo will have a charge up and running next round, but I mean, if you don't have to pay for it, you're better off, right?
A bit further up, you go straight into Master Swordsman onto Sam.
Yep.
Which is pretty nasty.
Very nasty, especially since we know he's taken priority, right? So I feel like a longer move there potentially could have been better to set him up for a bit more success at the start of next round, knowing that he's won the swords at this point as well, which is even more brutal.
Still, though, I mean, he's been smart, and it's hard to eyeball. He might have been concerned about exactly what Josh was measuring, and that Vision might have a crack at Sin. And then, I mean, Sin's got stealth, though.
Exactly, yeah, could be difficult.
Yeah. Interesting. So, I mean, Phil's gamble on the sword paid off, so he's going to get 4 points this round, so Josh is 3. And then we'll see what this does for damage. Hopefully it's nothing catastrophic and swingy early,
Yeah.
but I think the next really important roles are Sin's leadership roles.
Yeah, keen to see this.
That be potentially the double push going on.
Can you ask Phil to ping which ones he's rolling for?
Ping which one?
Yeah, the tab ping, where it does the arrow that points down. Here we go. He is doing it now.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So this is the one next to Iron Fist, and he's rolled a hit.
So it has to be secures first, and then you do extracts second.
Okay, so look at that. He's immediately gotten the Sin leadership onto Iron Fist, so he's going to try and push him in range of within 2 of Yeah, this is where Sin gets a bit crazy. Pushing within 2 of Lizard, and then I'm assuming that Morgan has now just gone catatonic with rage.
When Sin rolls hot on her leadership, I start triggering badly.
Your eyes roll into the back of your head. The bloodlust rises.
I said to Phil, sorry, mate, I can't play against Sin anymore. I think we've had about 40-odd games recently. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm just done.
Yeah, and that takes a lot to get you to that point.
It does. Okay, so that's good. So any other character but Iron Fist, that would be really strong on, because that's effectively a stagger, because they'll have to move back to that console. Iron Fist can do the flying kick. He's rolled a skull, I think, on the end one there on the secure.
He did, yep.
Sam and Widow stay there. Now he'll roll for the extracts. This is the big ones that Phil really wants. He wants the Widow to drop a hammer. 50-50. Oh, she does not. And then over to Iron Fist, 50-50 to drop a hammer. And this is what I hate playing against Sin.
Oh, very unlucky for him there.
Very unlucky, yep.
I mean, you'd be counting your blessings if you're Finkster at this point.
Yep.
But I still think Reath's in a decent spot.
He's good. I think he needs to. Well, I mean, obviously he needs to get a hammer back here. I think to make him feel a little bit more comfortable, because it's going to be a nice attrition advantage with Fink now having the hammers on his team. Lizard feels pretty comfortable. Lizard's probably the best person to face off against Iron Fist down there. Now the sword push is coming up next.
And this is where it gets strong, isn't it? Trying to just control vision, which is probably the target I would be trying to control as well, because vision is the dangerous one.
Absolutely. Let me just check the sword push. They're probably looking at his phasing rules. Pushed, yes.
So for vision, it says this character rolls 3 additional dice when defending against physical and cannot be pushed until the start of the next power phase. It's interesting. Yeah. What's the timing on that?
Well, the start of the next power phase is so the sword base happens at its player effects and crisis effects. So I think would choose the phasing, and my assumption is he stayed on the physical, so he can't be pushed.
Believe it, Tom.
So I think Reath would have to push someone else.
Well, there you go. Vision, so great pick.
Yeah.
Very great pick into swords. There you go, guys. Vision going up in stocks. Yep. Tom Harper over on YouTube said, "Wow, so many new characters. Captain America has wings now." Yep, this is the Sam Spam. Well, not Sam Spam, but I mean, it is Sam Spam. That's the name of it.
I miss Half Daddy, man. Tom, can you come back to MCP and just? I know it stressed you out, but just come back, man, and just enjoy playing a little bit more casually.
Yep. The trick is to just play with beers and chips.
You are dearly missed, Tom.
No, he's just finished up a serious X-Wing tournament. I think he just finished up doing that massive online teams tournament. And yeah, I imagine now his brain's been melted, so he's probably just looking to relax.
Yeah, good point, Pat. Vision is always a great pick. I've found Vision, it's weird. Whenever I play against Vision, Vision is a god. And for whatever reason, Vision is cursed for me. Whenever I play him, I roll nothing but skulls and blanks, and he just dies and does no attacks, no damage. It's horrible. Speaking of horrible, that's Phil's attack roll. Is horrible, which I should
not his best.
Sam.
Thing about Zemo is sometimes he does this, and other times, like the next roll will be 5 hits.
Phil will be cursing here. He's like, I missed 2 bloody hammer rolls, and now I've got no hits.
Don't you, Tom? I thought you played in the team tournament.
No, it's pretty bad Zemo attack rolls.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Oh, well, he's going to get some damage through anyway. If you can get a sneaky reroll here, I believe there should be a bleed going out, I think, on a wild for Zemo's attack.
Auto bleed. I think Phil will be pretty dirty on that. 3 hits out of 10 with 2 reroll.
That is, yeah.
But it puts the pressure on Sam, and realistically, I mean, I think Sam probably activates here and gets out of town, unless he goes aggro with Vision, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we got another roll coming in.
Okay, I assume this is...
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but we will see.
I don't know what this is either. Unless it's a Vision... It would be a Vision attack roll. No, I don't know what's going on there.
Not in online tournaments, only leagues.
Obviously, what's going on.
Something's happening. Someone's popping off. I'm just waiting for the activated ticks to appear. That's a good attack roll.
That's good. Isn't this the third attack roll? I'm confused.
I think it might be the fourth, man. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it's Sin.
Sin. Wow. There you go.
Ah, that's okay. That
It all makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, Sin. Okay, so Phil actually, when I said I think he should have moved Zemo up, Phil is playing a better game than I because he was counting on winning Sword and pushing Sam into Sin's range. So well played, Phil.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very strong as well. Sin has a hammer, so yeah, the old 5 dice rapid fire can be very deadly.
So do you know who is the most horrendous character to play against in all my Sin games? Has been Sin herself.
She's so strong.
Because she gets
With the hammer.
One of the rare characters that gets the auto rapid fire, so she's always rolling 5.
Yeah. Her and I think it's Agent Widow can are the only two that have the auto rapid fire. And like what Phil always says, her first attack automatically generates a hit and run.
Yeah, it's so strong. So apologies for your audience, Jay. I assume Zemo poorly. Very well played by Phil. My respect for Sin has gone through the roof since I started playing against Phil's Cabal, and her hit and run and rapid fire is really, really strong.
It is so good.
I mean, I started taking Angela just to double move and throw buildings at her to just get rid of her.
Just picturing you like Anakin.
I just take Angela and go, fine, eat this.
I'm just picturing you like Anakin, just, I hate you!
Yeah, that's what it's like, mate. Yeah.
I'm assuming you throw the building in real life as well?
I'd normally throw Sin.
Yeah, poor Phil's had to buy about 10 Sins by this point.
I've had to buy them for him.
Yeah. Look at Phil and he's just like, sorry mate, I'm going to have to buy you another one. I told myself I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So really good play there by Phil. And now you can imagine that if Widow had dropped that hammer, potentially Sin could have hit and run to pick it up and then done her rapid fire and then still had Zemo and Bodyguard on line to protect her.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
I think you and I assumed Zemo first because we're so used to Phil's or Reath's, priority Zemo activation that kills somebody outright straight away.
Yep. So interesting play here of moving Widow out of range of crossbones for the husband-wife activation. Would you have moved Vision in to do a nice big dirty beam? I mean, or maybe you can get the beam from there anyway. But
I possibly would have. I mean, Vision's on 2 power, so you can do the Zemo throw and then line up or throw a Koye into Zemo and then just get a big triple going on. And yeah, you do have a character in there, but your character's already dazed, so I probably would have gone for that to try and get as much damage out as possible, knowing full well that characters like Crossbow and Okoye can't do a massive amount with the power. They're kind of online when they hit about 2 or 3 power anyway. So it's So did Reath not husband and wife?
Look, I'm not sure. I think he might be still. He might be just doing his measurements, thinking, "What do I do with crossbones?"
Yep.
He's normally pretty calculated. He's one of those dudes. I mean, he's relatively new to the game. It's his 3rd season, but I think it's his first serious season.
Yep.
Really taking time and reps, and we've had some cracking games over the last few months.
Oh yeah, in the build up to it. So that would have been Sam's leadership going on to Widow then.
Yep. Yeah,
For anyone that's confused about how that small move happened.
Yeah. So he has activated crossbones, which I think is a good call to maintain priority. That's the other real strength of this squad is that Sin and Crossbones combination. I mean, Crossbones is a good, resilient character, but it's just about the priority manipulation, which I find very strong as well.
Yeah, that husband-wife combo can be very, very, very frustrating. So, Finkster's lost a character and still doesn't have priority, which is just nuts. And it's free.
Yep. So it looks like he's going to punch Widow in the face here, which is pretty... I mean, she's got martial artist, but you can spike into... She can't heal the damage from Sin's leadership, so I think a good call.
That's a good spike. That's all right. It's not a swinging game so far. Finkster has matched it.
He's rolled 2 crits.
There we go. Yep.
I like it when both players roll well. I really dislike
Yep.
it when one rolls hot and the other rolls cold.
Yeah, I agree. It can be infuriating. Like just like when you're watching a game that's got heaps of hype around it, it just comes down to one guy comes in and rolls 5 hits, 6 hits, 5 hits, and your opponent goes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's good when it's like this.
Equal bad or equal good. That's what I like
Yep.
to see.
So 2 damage going through the Widow.
That's good. Good activation by Crossbones. Phil would be happy with that. Bit of power here as well.
Yep.
I'm not sure he's placed it ideally there for a beam lineup, but
Yeah.
I suppose
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to get Crossbones and Zemo. Let's see. Who's you going to prioritise?
We are about to see. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Crossbones will eat these all day. I mean, he doesn't mind it because he gets power or, he gets
Exactly.
Zemo, I think, I'd be going after Zemo, I think.
Me too. Yeah, I would actually be trying to get Zemo dazed at this point. If you can daze Zemo, that's basically like stopping the hemorrhaging on this side of the board. I don't think if he doesn't daze Zemo here, I would be concerned for most of that side of the board with a big Zemo activation coming up.
Koya can do some work on Vision here, though, and try and force that phasing.
Exactly, yeah.
It really matters.
So we spoke about the timing on Vision, and I'm going to put your accuser brain to the test here.
Oh, God.
So you said it's player effects first. So would Vision have the opportunity to change back to dense at the start of the power phase before Sword kicks in?
Yeah, look, without reading the appendix chart, so I don't have it in front of me, my understanding is it's player effects, then crisis effects. So I think Vision would be able to... So you do your power first, then your player effects, so things like Blind Obsession, all according to plan, Vision's phasing. Then after that, you'd go to crisis effects, i.e. Sword push. So yes, that would be my take without reading.
You gut feeling.
Yep.
So we got a Widow, I'm going to say Spender attack here.
Oh, she's gone for some sort of stagger into...
It's not a bad roll.
Oh my god.
It's a very good roll. That's pretty good.
She's just landed 5 on Crossbones because he'll reduce 1.
Yeah, Phil would be blessed counting his lucky stars that Crossbones can reduce it by 1. Otherwise it's a straight one shot.
Well, I assume that's Widow.
I think it was... Yeah, because he spent 2 power on Widow to open that up the turn.
Why didn't he spend 1 to drop it 5?
It's a great question. Maybe... I mean, is there any reason where just having Crossbones daze there, is good enough? I mean, I personally would be happy to have him dazed, but maybe he's thinking about a Vision throw.
Or maybe denying... Yeah, okay. Well, no, because he can stop that anyway with his...
True, yeah. He can just pay 1 to take 1 less damage, which is great.
I don't like that. I think I would have paid 1 to keep him alive.
Yeah, make him do it, right?
But Vision's going to have all the power in the world in a second, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly, and it's also forcing Finkster to do it.
Maybe he didn't want Crossbones to be thrown into Okoye?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there. I mean, what size is Crossbones?
2.
Okay, so it's not exactly like it's not a massive throw, it's pretty stock standard. Like, I was thinking maybe if he was a size 3, you would consider letting him daze there, but at size 2, that's not one-shot range for any of the characters on that side of the board.
Look, I don't hate it, but I probably don't like it. I don't like the idea of giving up a character without a fight. But he's probably thinking he said he doesn't want Bones to be thrown at Okoye. He wants Okoye to try and tank Vision's attacks.
True, and he does have field dressing as well.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
But it'd be nicer to use it on someone else.
Yeah. So Black Widow's in a nice little charge range of Zemo here. The other nice play for Zemo could be a move and Steel Rush outside of range 2 to Widow. That would be pretty spicy. He wouldn't get the power to grab her hammer though, so I think charge might be on the cards.
I think so. Maybe Steel Rush off a Vision and then move across. Pat Dunford said maybe he wants Crossbones to block a throw into Okoye from Vision and remove Stagger next round. That's true. It would be horrible having to activate Crossbones next round with a Stagger.
So he's gone for the Steel Rush, has he?
Yeah, 6 dice standard. No, there's no hammer on him, so...
And Vision's immune to bleed, so it's a little bit of a waste. But he's after the movement, I suppose. I don't know. I think I would have rather 2 into Black Widow.
Yeah, that's fair. So Vision takes 1.
Yep.
Medium move. Oh, we're going this way.
He's going to get beamed. He just put himself in beam range.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing about Vision, guys. It's a range 4 beam. It's not the Enchantress range 4, like range 3 beam. This is a range 4 beam. It is extremely long range. He can hit everybody there from his current position. A Vision was a serious contender for me in my Midnight Suns roster because the 1 bump and range 4 beam is devastating.
I don't know if I like that. I think I would have liked the charge and second attack into Widow.
Yep.
To contest the, roll for the sword and then try and grab the hammer.
Exactly, and it's only a Okoye facing off against him there, which I actually think Zemo would be probably okay taking 2 hits there.
Because now Zemo's got no power and he's just negated his second action.
So they're just fixing up that top objective.
Yep. But Phil is a bit cautious of Zemo, but I don't think they keep him safe. I kind of liked him in the middle because it splits. Koya will have a couple of cracks at him, but Zemo should be okay.
Yep. A standard Reath Zemo activation, or at least in my experience, is a charge into, if he has the power, a Master Swordsman into a Steel Rush back to the position he charged from, so that he's...
The other beauty of putting Zemo in the middle is that you will, even if you don't get Widow, you're forcing the leadership top of next round and try and get it to drop it. You can pick it up straight away and activate with priority.
Yep. Maybe he's considering a different character to go to the centre. Possibly Lizard, if he holds him till the end of the turn. Maybe hold off against Lizard and Iron Fist. I mean, Iron Fist is probably going to be the last activation, because Iron Fist on swords is exceptional, especially if he has a target to kick on the centre sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still difficult for Iron Fist to play around this chemical truck, though.
Not a huge fan of that Zemo play. Don't know what it achieved. He had his rerolls anyway where he was. He had someone contesting that anyway where he was.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that could have been stronger. I think the stealing the hammer off of Widow, getting her days, and setting up the Sin leadership, since there's no one that can reposition him except for Vision, and then you'd be dragging Vision away from the top of the board there.
The other side of it is he's given Vision power, and now he's going to give Vision extra power from the beam. So Vision can do 1 beam, guarantee get 5 power, move over to Sam, and field dress him later in the round. Maybe
That's right. Yep.
So at least if Zemo went to the middle, he wouldn't give Vision power, and Vision can only get 1 power from the beam to the top of screen, or 1 power from the beam to the bottom screen. So, yeah,
that's it.
Downside to that Zemo play, I think.
That's why I considered Vision for Midnight Suns, because if I was Vision in a Midnight Suns roster right here, I would go beam, bump, field dress. Burn the world and field dress. I'd have my cake and eat it.
Right,
here's the first beam. 6 dice because he has got a hammer. Let's see how it goes.
This is not good for Phil, I think.
3 skulls? 4 skulls?
Oh, God.
I mean, the one upside is that Zemo is sitting in cover as well. So Zemo should take very little damage, but I'm nervous for his Okoye.
I'm never upset when Okoye goes down.
Ooh, here we go. So I don't know if that's Zemo or whoever next, but it is 2 blocks currently. Looking at 5 hits.
Well, if he rerolls 1 at Zemo, if he rerolls 2 at Okoye.
That's it.
It is okay.
Okoye, there you go.
Ooh, she lives.
Lives on 1.
Yep.
Which is it's untidy, right? Because now this this Vision is going to move over. The only downside is that he does not have enough to field dress and throw.
Yeah.
1 more power there, like a sap. I believe Visions has sap power, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
It does, yeah. If he rolled a single wild on any of those attacks, this would be catastrophic, in my opinion. Not a catastrophic is a strong word, but it'd be the downfall of this turn for Reath, because he'd be losing Okoye, and to top it off, Sam would be coming back and then pushing Zemo off that point.
They're having all sorts of trouble with this objective.
Yeah, it's just in that awkward spot, isn't it?
I think the only thing to do is throw that dumpster it's sitting on and then
Yeah,
reset it.
one of them just has to rip the band-aid off and throw the dumpster, which is usually me that does that because I get upset with it faster than anyone else.
He's not going to fit. I assume that's not where the console is. I think it's a little bit closer towards Zemo, but we'll see. So,
Sorry, I was muted for a second there. Yeah, I believe it was just slightly off the dumpster. I'm also muting in and out because I'm like leaning off camera and eating my dinner.
Oh, no worries. So if you're assuming Fink is going to move up vision here, I mean, Jay, you're a pretty aggro dude. Are you eyeballing a Koye and all you've got to try and daze him?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, if you can get Zemo, especially if he uses a field dress, or if he doesn't use the field dress, you have an opportunity to stop it from happening. So I would absolutely be eyeing off on all you've got. Rich Mid Gaming, how's it going, brother? And also, good luck if you haven't done it yet for your, I think it was 27-hour Marvel stream you got coming up. Good luck, mate. He just hit 1,000 subscribers, I think it was, and he's going to do a 27-hour Marvel stream where he's going to play a game every hour and a half or something. I expect him to be a just couch potato at the end of it because his mind has been just destroyed from thinking at that level for that long.
How can we donate towards that? So I remember reading Rich's post. It was pretty sad about his, I think it was his brother. Rich, if I got that wrong, I apologise. But that was tragic, mate, reading that. And happy to support if we can, whatever the charity.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just comment in there or just send me a message on Facebook and I'm happy to spread the word, mate.
Awesome.
28th and 29th of October, guys, if you want to watch Rich put himself through some punishment. No, I think most of that will be enjoyable. It depends how hard his opponents go for him.
God, I'd never want to play Marvel again after 30 hours straight. I'm done.
That's it. And also just imagine that some of your opponents are also like, hey, I'm on stream here. I'm going to give you the best I've got.
So I think he's in a pick.
Agreed, Pat.
He's going to make it. I mean, I don't think he makes it on the left of a Koye. Look at it.
It is body blocked, I think. I probably would give that a measure, though, before I try anything else. Pat said he can throw and flip or field dress. It's one or the other. Which would you choose out of that?
Look, I'm a field dressing kind of guy. I would like my leader to stay alive.
Just at least for another turn.
I think you've got, I mean, it's close enough that your points is close to parity thanks to you holding 3 hammers that you can probably absorb another sword loss. But losing Sam would be catastrophic top of 3. So I think field dressing, there's no guarantee you can flip either. So you can pay for it and lose it. Whereas the field dressing is guaranteed last activation and it's still healthy.
That's a good point. It's not a guarantee, is it?
Well, why is he rolling? He can't reach it.
Maybe they've deemed that he can.
Okay.
And it looks like he has failed it as well.
All right, so that is catastrophic because, as Pat articulated, it's very easy to forget the hammers increase the cost of your tactic cards, and so it's now 5 cost to field dress, and Josh is out of luck there. So as long as Phil remembers that and doesn't attack vision there, that's fine.
Yeah, I would actually be looking at that going, okay, vision's at 4. I think we just let Sin's leadership take effect at the start of next round and just leave him there. Rich also said that Travis is joining him for one of his games in that 27 hours as well. So I'll have to tee up Travis to give you the full Triple E experience, which will be to some ridiculous amounts of swing in the turn. Like, you know what it's like playing Travis. Something stupid happens that's just so ridiculous. It's in his favour, and it's hilarious.
Explosive. Erratic.
Usually as he's playing something that's troll-worthy.
Yep. So who's Phil's measuring here? So I think Fink has forgotten about field dressing costing 5 power. That's the only reason why I think he hasn't Koye.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Because I would have absolutely thrown a Koye at that point and dazed her, to be honest.
So this will be interesting because if he gets Widow, she'll drop the hammer, but I think she's going to be out of range. Oh, it's a horrible roll.
It's a horrible roll. We've got double block as well, so it's not achievable for him to get the kill either. So Fink has been blessed there.
Yeah, he's got...
Trip block.
Yeah.
Blessed. Yeah, that is potentially, that could have been one of those mistakes that you just look at it, you spend the next 2 to 3 turns trying to recover from.
Luckily, though, that Phil didn't do any damage. She can't counter strike because that could.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Yeah. I think she's going to go down to the Okoye spear throw in turn, but we'll see.
Agreed.
All right, so Phil's been. I mean, he had a good snap.
Oh, hang on, sorry, that was the spear throw, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, the return spear throw. I think.
Ah, gotcha.
Okoye activate. So I think Phil's been a bit unlucky on the attack and defence, apart from the Sin. I think Sin with the hammer should probably drop Sam. That's probably fair enough.
So Okoye has paid for field dressing as well.
Okoye has paid for field dressing. Why would you do it now?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, let's think about this. So Vision is activated. Let's just think about the top of the board in the game state that it currently is. Vision is activated and Sam is dazed. Widow has activated. Therefore, it's just Okoye who can deal with this. And
Ooh, no. He's trying to field dress there. Hopefully
yeah,
they up.
Phil's usually pretty onto it, so I think you'll see it happening in a moment.
Yeah. If they don't, I'll jump in. If not, yeah, Fink's forgotten about the hammers. That's a very common mistake. Probably the most common mistake, actually.
That was a fantastic video, Reese. I agree.
Like
I watched that one as well, Rich. It was great.
Phil, though, onto crossbones.
Yeah, I possibly would have thought about maybe holding to see if you could do it at the start of your next turn. Maybe.
Well, maybe he's thinking what's his only chance to use it effectively, because if Okoye I'm just gonna have to jump in on Sam here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Field dress Sam. Vision had a hammer with 4 power.
How does it feel to have the power of a god, Morgan? Good pick up there, Morgs.
Well, thank you.
Because if you weren't here, I was going to just watch the world burn.
Yeah. It's very easy to forget.
It is easy to forget. That's the one thing about hammers that is the most forgotten thing. You never forget the extra attack dice, but you always forget the extra power.
Well, maybe Phil's plan was, hey, if I field dress crossbones, maybe he'll keep Okoye alive, because he might spend 2 activations going after crossbones for the days.
That's true. If you get lucky with a good defensive roll here on crossbones, you can potentially stop it, because I believe crossbones can reduce it to 0.
Yeah.
Or you get lucky and he has to spend 2 activations getting Okoye.
Yep, Phil just needs to...
Looking at that so far, we are looking at 3 hits. Phil, is he in Zemo range? I do not think so.
Oh, he didn't check though, did he?
No, I don't think he is. Just an initial eyeball. I don't believe he would be.
See, the other reason why I didn't like a huge fan of this field dressing, because I think Phil's just going to lose Okoye and crossbones.
Yeah, that's what I'm nervous about. I probably would have waited to see if it was possible, because he has enough healthy characters sitting around in Sin and Zemo that you're going to get use out of that field dressing at a later turn anyway.
Well, maybe not. I mean, it'll probably go to, what's this? Might go to round 5. Yeah, probably go to round 5. So we'll
Yeah. I just mean, like, Finkster has a bit of rivals up his hands, so there's a good chance he's going to try and do an aggressive turn at some point in the future.
Yeah.
So you might get it.
Field dressing for Zemo, I think.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yep. His dance moves are so good that you need to get him back.
Oh, absolutely. The greatest dance moves in all of Marvel. Even better than Star-Lord's.
I only dance like Zemo now.
Yeah. It's good. Hey, guys, let me know if you like this commentary. We haven't done it for a while because there's been no real big events going, but I'm happy to make a commentary style gameplay a weekly thing, because it's easy to pick up 2 other people playing Marvel. So, let me know if you guys wanted to have them more. But if not, it's all good.
I was thinking, Jay, you should do. What might be worth considering is do a bit of a. Remember the old X-Wing write-ups of the matchups, where you'll do those leagues and they'll say, hey, this week it's Jay versus whoever, and they'd write up. You have your squads and your predictions and the rest of it. You could do something similar with a matchup of the week.
Exactly. Go around hunting for it and see which is your Pat Dumford versus I think Travis is in there, so Pat versus Travis or something along those lines.
Trav's in Central. But I think you picked the Ripper this week. I think this is the match of the week for our bracket.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do that. Maybe do a bit of a, you can do a bit of an article. I don't know if you do an article, before the game about who you think, and then go and commentate it, and just, I don't know, rotate your commentators with whoever you want.
Yeah, that's it. We've got enough guys around now between yourself, Travis, Reath. I've had utility in for some. I'd love to get guys like Pat in. Even Darren, Wargaming Dad, get you in, man, for some commentary. Even though I know this time in the morning is absolutely crazy for you. But yeah, I'm happy to rotate that kind of stuff because I've done enough commentary now that it doesn't matter as much about my person I'm doing it with. Whereas initially, I think I only did it with yourself and possibly Travis because I already knew I had a good back and forth between us.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to do it. I've got a couple more weeks left on my course. And after that, I am free until January when I've got to go to Alice Springs where there's a big aircraft graveyard up there to do some practical.
So back to this thing around Iron Fist. He's just going to do his flying kick and get the auto placement next to Lizard and go for the 50-50 roll. And back to again why I don't like this crisis in that it's just a dice off at the end of who wins the tour. This is disastrous for Phil if Josh gets this roll, but it remains relatively even if he misses this 50-50.
Agreed. Yeah. If Iron Fist gets this roll, I would be happy to say that if Phil doesn't get some good sin activations next time round, there'll be two things. One, this is like the start of the downhill slope, and two, I would be officially sin cursed.
The Lizard doesn't. He just wants to take damage here. He's taking damage.
Standard Lizard doesn't take any damage.
I love Lizard.
He's so good. He's so good.
All right, this is
I love Lamp.
The 50-50. So if he gets this is huge for Josh. And if he misses it,
okay, so that's good. Keeps it spicy.
All right, so this is big for Phil. And what it's going to look like, I think we're going to lose Sam, top of 3. I assume Sin is within range 3 to rapid fire. I'd probably see I think we're going to see a Dark Rain on Sam, would be my guess.
Agreed, especially if Sin's involved in it. Sin with a hammer and Dark Rain. There is not many characters that can stand up to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think he goes aggressive with all you've got. I think he just does a Dark Rain off Crossbones onto Sin and just finishes Sam with... Sorry, does a Dark Rain from Crossbows onto Sam and then removes Sam with Sin. That would be my guess. All right, let's see the roll. So he's going to roll for the Lizard versus Iron Fist. He does not get it, so Iron Fist stays.
That's 4 in a row, yep.
That's probably Phil doesn't mind that. The next one will be for the top side here.
That is a success, is it? A wild?
That is a success, yep. He's going to push Vision. Oh, Vision is... Oh, no, he's rolling for the extracts. Oh. Nasty.
There we go.
And then we'll go back to the Iron Fist extract, will we? It's such a horrible leadership. I hate it. Back to Iron Fist.
Oh, there it is. And there it is. No one drop that for old Lizard over there.
Well, the downside here is, if there is a downside, is that you would love to activate Little Lizard first.
Spoil for choice.
But I think you have to remove Samples.
I agree. I 100% agree there. I'd be getting rid of Sam. That leadership is so powerful. His auto push and then potentially bouncing into more pushes is so strong. Like, he's just got so many things going for him. I would absolutely be getting rid of Sam here.
So I think he does, I think it's Dark Rain from Crossbones onto... I mean, it might even be Vision. You might get greedy and want all you've got and remove Sam and Vision. Because you can do a Sin, hit and run, shoot into Sam.
Yep.
Pick up the second hammer, and then if you get lucky and daze Sam off your first two, you can fire your second.
Which has a chance, yep.
Yeah.
Being 5 dice, and then the second one going into Vision, potentially is also with Zemo as well, so we're going to have rerolls on it as well.
Oh, so this is the...
Sword push.
Sword push. Okay.
There is a lot happening in the power phase here.
There is. They've done well to remember it. So I think it's got to be Sin first, we might guess. Damn.
Yeah, agreed.
So Dark Rain, does it come out?
I think that Phil was absolutely just hoping that Vision dropped his, and I think it's just bonus points that Lizard happened to drop his, because if he removes Sam and let's say Vision lives and he doesn't end up all you've got in, it kind of forces him to go with the vision activation, which means that Lizard can pick up the hammer anyway.
Right. So he's done a hit and run. He's not dropped Dark Rain though, which maybe he's just confident she'll do it. I would have dropped Dark Rain.
Yeah, I would have. It's a worthy cause for it.
Yeah. But he might drop. I mean, if he gets lucky, he might be thinking. We'll see. All right. So Sin hammers with rapid fire.
4 to 1. Oh.
Sin is so bad.
It's like I showed with Moon Knight this week, man. Like these 4 and 5 dice attacks, when you have a rapid fire available to you, actually put out a lot of damage. They put out a lot of damage.
I hate her so much. I feel for you, Josh. When you watch this back.
2. That's a bit better. Okay, let's see. Josh should at least block this. Yep, triple block. Nice.
Nice. So now he gets the power, then he gets the medium move. He'll go pick up the second hammer and do it again. Oh my god.
Yep.
Ugh.
Point of note that if not that he's going to ever decide to, or you've got Sin at this point, but it will cost 6.
Well, I think he's forgotten to add the power to Sin. She should be on. I think she should be back onto 6 because he spent 2 and he gained 2.
And I think it's a must, isn't it?
It is. Let's see. I'll just type it in.
Sim with 2 hammers and Zemo rerolls. Yeah, Pat just said Sim with 2 hammers and Zemo rerolls. ...
Yeah, it's not a nay. You can't nay add power.
GG. Looks like they did. And Pat's come in spamming GG. Yeah, it's difficult to overcome an advantage like that on that top side of that there. So if I was Finkster at this point, I'd be attempting to try and disengage from that top point and hold the other 2 and try and win the sword. If he wins the sword for a round, get some good pushes out of it, it might be good for him.
Alright, so into Sam.
Only 2.
Terrible roll.
With a true double block there.
This is why I just like that Dark Rain, just to really...
Dark Rain, I think, would have been the call, because Crossbones has ample power, right? He doesn't need that 3 power for anything.
Yep. Because if he doesn't get Sam here...
That's not good. Oh, yeah, Dark Rain would have been great.
Well, Sam roll blocks one. Okay, so it's all 3 rolls.
This reroll is huge.
Reroll.
Lucky.
Out of jail.
Very, very, very lucky.
Out of jail.
Finkster, if you're a Finkster at this point, you'd be like, okay, a couple of these things are starting to go against me right now. So Pat said that Vision absolutely could swing things back, and I agree. Vision can.
So that's a big play from Phil. He just scraped that through. He hasn't got enough power for all you've got, which is he'd be tempted to be wanting to land it in the Vision, but he can't. Power short. But I think still got to do his Sam Wilson leadership trigger. But
that's right. He does get on the way out.
Yep. And he has chosen the path of the coward, which I don't blame him. I don't think. Or do I? I don't know.
You could walk that Vision back to near Okoye and set up a triple beam.
Well, yeah, put him behind Crossbones and then beam.
Sin has stealth though, yeah.
I'll be measuring range 3 off Sin and probably walk, hoping to get Crossbones, Zemo, and I just don't know if he can reach all 3 of them.
Exactly, you can always throw a Crossbones as well. Just walk yourself over and throw Crossbones in the way.
I mean, a Vision Synthezoid Avenger here is spicy into Sin, but probably a double beam and a throw will finish her off. This is where
that's the thing about Sin, isn't it? Like, even her sitting there, if you happen to get him back, does he get to roll for each objective on you or just once?
Let's look at the leadership. I think it's just once.
And then you drop both, or?
Roll a dice for each objective token tested by an allied character. So, oh my god, it's worse than I remembered.
Yeah, so it's more powerful.
Yeah, I think I would have liked field dressing for this round for Phil, because I think Phil's about to lose Sin here, and maybe Zemo, and a field dressing is pretty tidy.
Yeah, I agree. So he's used on Okoye to bring Okoye over. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, okay. Yep. I mean, Vision's position's pretty good there. So.
Yeah, and it brings Okoye into range 3 of Sin as well.
Yep. All right. So we're probably going to look at what's going. Okay.
4 power on Crossbones. That's a Haymaker, or be a Haymaker.
And priority once again after KOing someone. Nasty.
Fair and balanced.
So is he going into Okoye or Vision?
I think I would target Vision to at least make Josh
Okoye
have to pay for it.
I'd be. The thing I don't like about targeting Vision first is you got this. So I'd probably just go both into it.
True. Yeah. Maybe just get rid of her.
Or try to. I mean, she's Okoye, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's not currently a single block for Okoye. Into 2 blocks, we have a reroll available.
So you get a 3 throw off this, which is pretty handy into Vision here. That's a.
Whoa, that's an Okoye block.
Yep. He did get the wild as well, which is a wild trigger from them. Yeah, throw. And it's any direction, so you can throw her.
That's
wherever
good.
you like.
You would consider throwing her just completely out of the mix, or just into Vision.
I'd probably want to throw her away from. Because I don't want Vision to field dress her, right?
No.
So, depends how much of the attrition you lean into. I'd probably look at it away. So it's outside of range 2. This is the Vision double dodge, so he's throwing it into.
Oh, no, Vision's going to take 3.
Well, violence is also the answer many times. I'm a coward. Feels nice.
No, I would have probably thrown her away, and I'm fairly aggressive. That does leave Vision, though, with a double Synthezoid Avenger, if he wishes.
Well, Crossboner now places. God, I hate that place function.
Yeah, it needs to be just fine-tuned just a little bit, but I don't know how to fine-tune it.
So, does he go? I think he go into. Does he do a Vision? He's probably tempted to go Vision here. No, because Okoye just bodyguards it again.
Would you? I know it's too late. Actually, I was going to say, would you look at something like a Blind Obsession for Crossbones into Vision? But I don't think it's worth it. It's also got to happen in the activation phase. Ooh, that's not a good block.
That is a terrible block, but luckily it's not a great attack.
Yeah.
So
even if she would have lived anyway. Only 2 hits. That's good though. She's not sitting at that 1 health range for any type of throw shenanigans. Not that he has any left up there, I don't think.
why did Crossbones use all that power? I thought he would have more. He was on 10, wasn't he?
Yeah, double Haymaker's 8.
Well, Overpower and Haymaker is 6.
Yep. Did he do that?
I don't remember how much power he had. Maybe
I think the first attack was only 8 dice, so that would just be a strike Haymaker. But then that should have generated power.
No, he used his Overpower because it had the throw on it.
And he teleported, yeah, you're correct.
I thought he had more power than that. I thought he had 10 power, but I could be wrong. Anyway,
He did have 10 power, yeah.
He did. And we did the other.
Maybe overpowered again?
No, because he only rolled 5 on that next one. Where did the other power go? He used 6, so he should have 4 power.
I don't know.
No. If Phil wants to spend extra power,
Phil can spend extra power. It's funny sometimes when you're sitting back here and you're just trying to figure out exactly what's happening just from like what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you just come up stumped, just like, I don't know what that was, guys. Apologies, but it was something. And it cost 8.
He's going off as well. I'm not paying that much.
It is difficult. Like, you can tell somebody who's a seasoned stream player if they ping their attacks and superpowers before they use them, like yourself and Travis do. Pat Dumford does it as well. Guys like Splution that have played a lot of stream games will always use the tab ping function to at least tell the people that are watching, I am doing this.
Alright, so this is where things are about to go badly for Phil. And this is where I would have liked the field dressing.
I agree. Yeah, this could... I would have very much liked to have seen that Dark Rain, which, if he can get that in one attack onto Sin, potentially could have gave him a chance at wiping out this Vision, especially now knowing that Crossbones did 3 damage to him, so, you know, it's something that he might not have had to deal with if he'd just ripped the Band-Aid off. Yeah, you just saw what Pat said, so that's good.
Yep. That's why he's smarter than all of us. Me and my monkey lizard brain is like, what?
Overpower's 5 dice.
Yeah, no, he rolled 5.
Cool. I mentioned the overpower as a second action, a second attack before, but when you said he rolled 5 dice, I was like, oh, it must be 6 dice.
Just greedy. I don't know. I suppose in my mind I would either do the haymaker on the strike, or I don't know.
The overpower does have the inbuilt throw in it, so maybe he was looking to do that plus another throw.
That's fair.
Here we go. Big vision beam. Not sure who we're into first, but it's 3. That's a massive start.
Oh, it's going to go badly for Phil now.
Yep. This is that point where if you're you've done a lot of competitive games, you need to just be going, okay, like this turn's gone badly, but like you don't want to just get yourself rolled up about it and just shrug it off and try again.
Well, you're expecting it coming. I mean, the only advantage is that Vision doesn't have a hammer, but
that's
doesn't
right.
really matter when you roll good attack dice.
That's right. So that was a 4 into Zemo, which is, if he can get a good attack here into Sin, he potentially could move and start looking at things like a throw.
So he's got cover and a Zemo reroll. That is terrible for Phil. He would probably be hoping to
block most of it, but instead he's going to take 2, which is half of her health.
Yeah. So I think you do a throw here into Sin with the dumpster, and then probably Synthesoid Avenger. Oh, is that overkill?
I mean, you got 8 power, right? So I would probably look at it. I mean, Vision has one of the best throws in the game.
Just throw Zemo into Sin.
Yeah, Zemo's on 1. So,
and then you've got another attack you can Synthesoid into Crossbones.
Yep. Or save the...
Ooh,
that actually got paid for at the start of the turn as well. So possibly got a mix up there. That's why, guys, you always see me put the Bitter Rivals card in my dice tray.
So I assume someone's rolled too many dice then. But
Yep, Reath did, but he said Fink's happy to keep the results, probably because Phil rolled so poorly, right?
yeah, I mean that's for the players to decide.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do some random judgment.
Yeah, that's it.
Let players
I find with Bitter Rivals in particular, it's already got enough feels bad involved in it. So it's like, okay, look, if you guys are happy, just play it out. Don't do it again.
Well, I think, for judging things, if people forget stuff and you catch it, it's good to jump in. But otherwise, if the players are happy, then just let them play.
Exactly. So we are throwing Zemo here, and he can't move, so there's nowhere for him to legally place, guys. So I do believe I'm going to get this one right for once. But he'll stay where he is, but we're going to see Sin roll for it.
Well, he probably gets double days here, I'd be expecting, unless Phil rolls amazing.
Yeah, well, it's currently dazing, but he gets to roll in a crit.
Okay, so here's a chance.
Ooh.
Okay, he's still alive. I think would be cursing and Phil would be like, huh.
Phil will be very happy at seeing that happen.
Yep. Now just imagine if you had Crossbones sitting here and did spend all that second haymaker.
Yep, with the field dressing ready to go.
Yeah. On Zemo with 1 billion power.
Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty hard to survive through. Looks like we are flipping that as well, since there is no characters contesting it.
Yep.
So that is Fink currently controlling the central objective, although it looks like it's cleared, and Reath owns the one next to Lizard. So there's currently Fink owning the swords as well.
That's pretty lucky for Phil there, because I think a couple more hammers on Vision for his follow-up attack into Vision might be Would he have had enough for Synthesoid and picking up 2?
1. If he didn't want to interact with the objective, he would have picked up 2. If he wants to interact, it would be 1.
Yeah, fair enough. So now you just got to finish off Sin, surely.
Yeah, I would absolutely be going for that. So second action, it sucks that you don't get to do a big attack into Crossbones, but just wipe her out.
And here we might see MCB variants, to be honest. Like, this is easy, do this easy.
This could be why Vision fell off from the top of the list.
Sinner's paid power. What's that for? Sacrifice. Oh,
Very nice. Well played.
Great cut. Now, that doesn't change the beam to go in the it changes the target.
Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Fantastic use of sacrifice.
Yep. I did see the little red hand floating over sacrifice before.
The old hand. That's another good attack roll too.
Oh, wouldn't that be horrific for Reath at this point?
He's had good dice this game, I think.
Yeah. 4 going into Crossbones, who will reduce it by 1. So we'll take 3 on Crossbones, I believe. It's the only target they can do that can do sacrifice. 4.
So
Again.
Why isn't he spending one?
What is the timing on Sap Power versus Crossbones?
Sap happens before damage is done. And then
Inuit to Pain is if this character would suffer damage, may use the superpower.
I don't know why he's not using it.
What is the? It just says if this character would suffer damage.
Yeah, you should sap first, and then because sap is before damage is dealt.
Okay, he only had 1 power, so one single wild would wipe that choice out for him. Sap power is a ability on attacks that I personally have a problem with because it has no cap on it.
What's this next roll? What are we doing here?
Not sure.
3.
That's a lot of wilds.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, is there a retaliatory thing that can happen here? Reath is it's Okoye's activation. 3 dice because of bit of rivals.
Bit of rival, and she's blocked 3 out of 3. Silly would be spewing.
Oh yeah. So there's a chance here that he can slip this one through, but I don't think so because
To be rage.
I believe.
Just rage.
Well, she's got cover. She's got cover anyway, wouldn't she? Because she's outside of 2. So that's a triple block either way.
No, she hasn't got cover because there's nothing obscuring. She has to be within range 1 of the turn.
No, I mean Fink's cover.
Fink doesn't have cover.
Sorry, I'm getting my blues and reds mixed up. Reath Sequoia has cover, which is irrelevant because he's attacking.
Yeah.
All you've got is just been paid for.
Koye, if she does this again, Phil would be very frustrated.
Mate, Okoye is the worst target in MCP to spend all you've got on, because if you haven't done it in the first 2, the MCP god says you're not going to do it in the next 2, although Phil has just proven us wrong.
Alright, so he's got 1 crappy attack in division.
Yeah, I probably would just do exactly what he's doing here. I don't think I would hold high hopes to get vision with this attack, so I'll move to the middle. You're setting up the leadership for Sin if he doesn't move Widow, and you're potentially going to flip that over as well, and he has.
I don't like that, I've got to say, because Vision just field dresses a Koye, and what's the point of dazing your own Koye?
Yeah, that's a good point. You are forcing the field dressing out, but at this point, there's no other better targets for it, so I would absolutely look at that.
I don't know. I would have liked all you've got maybe next round from Zemo or Sin to potentially, Taze or KO. I don't know. I don't like it.
Some interesting choices about that Reese made this game. Fink I think is playing textbook Finkster, which is great to see. He's doing really well. Reese playing really well, but he is playing more cautious than we're used to. But I've only seen Reath play Sin once. So I know what Reath is like playing, MODOK, which is, the most bloodthirsty person in MCP, but it's different seeing this. So Pat's just said the field dressing on Okoye could KO Crossbones, daze Sin, flip the point, and score 2 hammers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his...
I don't think you couldn't stop that field dressing, so why bother?
Yeah.
Okoye can be up and running anyway, so why bother?
Yeah, why would all you've got for it, right? I mean, you'd attempt to stop it with some attacks to at least force it to happen, but all you've got in for it? Especially knowing that he's dazed in the middle, so Black Widow can just pay a single power and immediately reflip it as well, because you're no longer contesting it.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of a big deal. You've traded your most offensive card for the field dressing that's got no real other use.
Yeah, exactly. The priority is still sitting on Reef's side, so it doesn't matter about the field dressing. Finkster already is not going to have priority, so I would expect next round to potentially start to see either a Blind Obsession coming out from Lizard onto Iron Fist to potentially overwhelm him. 8 dice attacks is pretty good. And then we're also going to be looking at probably, I think Reath has to pull the trigger on Dark Rain next round.
Well, Fink's going to win Sword this round. I don't think Lizard can't get there. No, he certainly can't.
Especially knowing that Lizard is going to activate before Iron Fist, right? So Lizard is going to get the hammer, but any good work that he does, flipping, say let's move Lizard to the center console, Iron Fist can follow him up by flipping that, and then I think the truck might slow Iron Fist down enough though. So this is into, not sure, 2 defense would say it is an energy attack into Crossbones.
Oh no, Crossbones. Has he just survived it? He has. Okay, so that's more like it, because I think the first time Widow Bone, she dealt 5 or something.
Yeah, it was huge.
So that's good. Phil's out of jail there. We would have expected Crossbones to go down.
Yeah, me too.
Well, and so Sin lives. That is a real... Oh no, she's still got field dress. So
Yeah,
the only
it's not over yet.
is for Lizard to daze Iron Fist. And I think the chance of that happening
Yep.
slim to 0.
So it looks like he's decided to bring him over, which, I mean, that's fair. You can reflip that central objective, and also, get ready to at least bring another character with a hammer into the fight. Did that just place outside of it?
No, he did.
It did the place one. It was more just outside of his movement template. I thought it kind of was a bit close.
It's interesting. I would have been tempted to... Yeah, I mean, if you dazed Iron Fist, you could stop the field dressing.
That's true, because he wouldn't have an opportunity to play it, right?
Yeah, but you have to still probably have all you've got. So Lizard with a hammer is not unreasonable to daze Iron Fist.
True, and he does have... He would have had... only 2 powers. And so if he had his spender online for the first attack, that could have been pretty good.
It's only a range 2 spender.
So you're telling me that Lizard has a weakness?
Like all characters, that does.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so this is a bad round for Phil here, because I think field dress Koye, because she hasn't gone yet from memory, has she?
Yep. So I think Phil will still be in front, though, at the start of next round, if nothing else changes.
Well, you assume Koye's going to...
Yeah, we're assuming this is absolutely happening, but we'll see what happens.
Now, I thought Okoye was unactivated, but I could be wrong. She was activated. Look.
I'm not sure. Maybe she was. Let me just have a look at her card. There's no tick on her, so it looks like they have not done it.
So I think that is a huge misplay from...
I agree.
Because probably she dazes Sin and takes 2 hammers off her for a 4-point swing.
Yeah, which would have been exceptional. That's both of our players tonight have played field dressing, I mean, in a way that neither of us would have played it. But, we're not in their heads. They might have bigger plans for it. But, yeah, I think they were both... I wasn't super happy with the field dressing on Crossbones, and I also am not happy not seeing that happen. So
I can't get my head around that last one. I mean, I can see an argument for Crossbones. I can see it. But I just cannot make any sense of why you wouldn't field dress Okoye there.
Yep. So it looks like we're doing Sin's Leadership. We're doing extracts. You said it's secures first. So it looks like Widow has dropped hers, which means we're probably going to see that Dark Rain come out.
So Phil wasn't contesting any secures though, because...
Copy. Understood.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
You go straight to extracts. And so this is the nasty part of Sin's Leadership when you got...
When you maintain priority, yeah, we're looking at triple hammers onto Sin potentially, or someone else.
And playing against it, you're just so frustrated. Like, that's my hammer. I earned that hammer.
I earned that hammer. I paid blood for that.
Like, you didn't do anything to drop it off me. That's normally,
Yeah.
Interest costs 3 power. Sin just goes, oh no, I'll just 50-50 take it.
Yeah, exactly. And, luckily that Fink won priority and kept it at 14 points, because I think if we were at 18 points, we'd see the likes of Angela and such. So that is a good sword push there, recognising the threat from Fink.
Is it though?
It is in that is forcing an activation to be a movement action, and all you've got's disappeared. So,
I mean, I would have loved a bit of a Zemo. Well, and you KOs him.
yeah, I mean, all you've got for Reath is off the table anyway.
Again, I'd like to see a Dark Rain off Crossbones onto.
Crossbones are just paid for Blind Obsession.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I don't mind that, depending who he puts it onto. I think he'll go on to Vision.
Koi. I think you do a Koi, because Koi's going to bodyguard it all anyway.
True, yeah. That's a good point.
Who did he put it onto?
Just waiting to see the token come out. Okoye being on her injured side as well is very good for Blind Obsession, because obviously little known thing about Blind Obsession is when the obsessed character is removed from the game or removed from the board by being KO'd, it removes the token. So there's like a no downside to it. So like a really big Sin / Crossbone husband-wife opening up this turn could also finish with Crossbones getting rid of the Blind Obsession as well, which is really strong.
Yeah. I mean, so my guess it would be Crossbones on Foyer, Blind Obsession. And then I think we'll see in all you've got with the intent to KO Okoye and Days. If he doesn't get vision here, though, it could be disastrous. I'd assume a beam or two onto Zemo to Sin is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Look at the size of this token.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Sometimes when they spawn in massive like this.
He's going to vision. I don't know about this.
Yeah, he's probably thinking exactly how I think. Right, you think of the next level down. I think at the top layer, which is I want my Crossbones to punch that vision into dust, and you think, hang on, it's going to get bodyguarded anyway, so let's just put it on Okoye.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's recognizing Okoye's bodyguard is not.
Yeah, no, I mean just like the recognizing that it's going to happen, and you should put the Blind Obsession there.
Oh god, he's going the double. Okay, so he's putting Blind Obsession onto vision, and
that's interesting. So he's put out Dark Rain on Okoye.
All right, so either way, he's going. You choose. It's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's it. That's just you're giving your opponent just a bunch of bad decisions.
Why is he going to Sin first though? What would he go?
Doesn't she have to go first for the husband-wife?
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I always forget that it does. I always forget the Crossbones until potentially he's reprinted doesn't have it. Reese just said, just read Sin's card properly. Damn, she's a nasty bitch. Yes, she is. She's very powerful. Sin is a character I think that got overlooked a lot because she came out in a rapid fire of releases that also had some very strong characters. I want to say around Medusa, but that's just going off memory. So she kind of got overshadowed and overlooked.
She saw a lot of play last season towards the back end. I think from what I saw, the issue with Sin rosters is that I don't think they were I'm not sure they knew what they were doing and how to optimize it. I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm just saying from what I've seen Phil do in our 10 billion Sin games, it felt optimized on her leadership. Whereas I think what I saw, some of the rosters, not all of them, in the previous seasons, they seem to be just running numbers as opposed to optimized splashes.
Correct. I mean, we're seeing Reath as well starting off this turn by, we talked about the dark rain onto Okoye being like forcing Fink to have some bad decisions, but I mean, Phil's made that decision for him by just putting himself outside of 3 and picking up a hammer and potentially removing Okoye anyway.
Yeah, also we're probably going to see all you've got in here.
No, all you got used last turn on Okoye, yeah.
Right. Yep.
I know, it's one of those weird things where it's like, it was such a lackluster all you've got, which is not what we're used to for all you've got.
Okay. So again, Fink will be... We'll have to ask him. I'd recommend you ask him game.
I will, yep.
In Okoye.
Yeah, I'm going to. And also I'm going to ask Reath about his strange stuff he was doing on Crossbones, like not reducing the damage to force Fink to try and daze him again, things like that. I'd just like to see what they're thinking at the time.
Okay, so he's moved up and then picked up a hammer and got out of dodge.
Yep. So he's done his hit and run as well on this second attack, which is why, hit and run, really great ability, guys, if you remember to use it properly. Attack, get out of range. She's worth 3 victory points. Get her as far away as possible after you've, dished out your hammer damage and force your opponent to come chase.
This husband and wife into vision, massive.
Yes. Morgan was the very first person that I versed who used a husband and wife combo, albeit it was a Corvus, and I melted down on stream.
Yeah.
Because I just looked at that combo of husband-wife and was just like, this will cause more problems in Marvel moving forward than pretty much nearly everything. So 4 from Crossbones into a double block.
Has he forgotten his Zemo reroll? Or is it just no, it's done enough anyway.
Yeah. So a day's there.
And if he gets Widow, this could be catastrophic.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, getting it on that big attack, which is some things like Crossbones is a character that has gone just progressively up in my books, right? That Haymaker adds a serious, 3 attack dice that's a lot, with how Marvel dice work. That is a lot of dice.
So if he gets this, I think he wins the game. Oh, that's a big call early, but it's such a...
It's 6 on the opener.
God.
Trip block.
Trip
But
block,
still, he's going to get her, I think.
Oh.
She's only got 2 health, I think.
So talk about... Did it get it?
I believe she's. I don't know of a way for her to block that many.
It has to be, yeah. Talk about an unforced error though of that. That field dressing we've banged on a couple of times now about Okoye, but all of this, not all of this, but this style of thing could have been prevented.
A very large portion of this could have been prevented. The 2 hammers on Sin for starters. Could have given your Okoye an opportunity to survive. I don't know if she would have survived, but given her an opportunity to survive. I still think Sin at range 3 with a Dark Rain and a single hammer, because she would have got that single hammer from the Sin leadership, still gets her. But, it also would not have Reath on 11 points. It would have Reath on 9 points, which is a lot harder to win from.
But talk about great use of Blind Obsession and Dark Rain. Really strong. Really nice use there.
Reath is who put me on to Blind Obsession. He used it against me a couple of times, and it's one of those cards I initially wrote off that when you revisit it, you're like, actually, this is very strong.
I'm terrible at it, I've got to admit. I've tried playing, I reckon I've run 15 games with it, and I'm just an absolute Blind Obsession potato.
I suck with it. I love watching people use it, but whenever I use it, I put it out on the second turn, and I just do dumb stuff with it that ends up just getting me killed.
I just find I've never had a use, I've never gone a use case for it. I'm like, haha, this is what I want to do. Yeah,
I've been hit with it twice recently. This, well, not me specifically. This is the second one where I've seen it used brilliantly. Really nice to force a triple daze / KO, and our Mr. El Shaco in our Marvel chat used it on a quick draw where he was on a side individually against one of my characters in that tournament and absolutely towed up that side. Reese, am I going to do an updated tier list once we get all the updated characters? Yes. And I might even try and get all of the the majority of the Strike Better boys in on that one, because that will be a very long video. And I don't want to talk for 2 hours by myself.
Yes, you do.
I do, yeah, but I mean, let's think about it. They update every single character. Let's exclude maybe some that aren't going to get updated. Having to do a tier list on that as well. Ugh.
So Josh has passed here, and Phil's just run his Okoye. So Josh's only play here, a bit of a double move, field dressing, prayer, and then followed by a Heroes for Hire
to hold it down. Yep.
But Lizard just. What's Lizard power? Lizard just... Oh, he's only got 2, 3.
Yeah, so he's 1 power shy of a just auto throw, so there is a chance. You do a kick here, try and get... Oh, I would actually do the kick, because then you're going to give him the power to do the throw.
Well, the kick's not going to get the distance for the next... Yeah, you don't want to... I'll just double them.
The kick does get him further, though, but I mean, he only needs to get within 2 of vision.
You don't want to give Lizard power. If you give Lizard 1 power for a throw... It's all over.
Oh, yeah, it's all over Red Rover.
And Philly just needs, at this stage, to hold the hammers and... Oh, okay.
Looks like Phil has recognised the potential threat and is attempting to do the normal Zemo thing, which is to remove the threat.
What's he doing?
Yeah, 100% Reese.
Just
Yeah.
moving. So just move and sit on the point as close as you can. What's he doing?
Iron Fist is a 5 power, so looks like he's just going to move over. He needs to just tweak that a little bit so he's not overlapping Lizard.
Okay,
Okay, alright.
just like that. Gives Iron Fist a...
Yeah, it gives Iron Fist somebody that's not Lizard to kick off of. You kind of done him a favour there.
Well, it means Zemo wasn't really doing it.
True. He was applying rerolls to everybody over there, though, which is always nice.
Yeah, he's just going to get beamed otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has put... I mean, it's irrelevant. I was going to say, he's put Zemo in the spot where it's like, it would be good to block Iron Fist, but you can't block him because he's going to kick you.
So, I mean, Iron Fist has to go. It's in a bad spot. I think Phil's just won. I forgot to say, I don't see how Iron Fist can... He's got to maybe flip in this console and field dressing.
Yeah. But then, I guess if you flip the console, that slows his Lizard down even more.
Well, it's still irrelevant, right? Because Lizard double moves and flips both of them.
Yep. Yeah, flips the bottom one, flips the middle one.
So then what Vision needs to do is play Heroes for Hire to survive whatever the attack is.
Which he won't have the power for because Iron Fist only has 5, so he has to do the kick to get to get the power required to do both.
No, so it's remember your Heroes for Hire is the character hiring the hero.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So Vision will pay 2. I'm normally using Heroes for Hire on my own Iron Fist, so it's an easy one to forget. So we've got the kick coming out. I'm assuming this is into the Zemo because it would be ludicrous to do it into Lizard.
Yeah.
It's a good kick. Into a triple blank.
That's terrible. Get a reroll.
Yeah. You imagine if he just killed Zemo and then couldn't teleport?
It's not a big deal at this stage of the game.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be just funny to just remove... He kills him accidentally and removes the kick, so he can't do the teleport. The other thing, right, you use that field dress last turn to get your Okoye up and running, and then you don't have to do this with your own Iron Fist. Your Iron Fist is free to kind of do whatever he wants at this point.
Why is he...
He's teleporting there to probably try and flip the console, and then all he's got to do is a medium move. It'll easily make 2 of Vision.
Yeah. I was just thinking why he wasn't going closer. That's fair. I wonder if the double move would have gone to the top console.
Ooh.
Did he get it?
Nada. I think if he'd placed absolute maximum off of Zemo, he possibly could have made the top console.
Oh, I was thinking
But he
more
wouldn't
than-
have flipped the middle one.
Yeah. Well, it turns out he's not going to flip any now.
Yeah, that's it. Joke's on us. Now, do you... He has to pay for the field dress now. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Man, this is a dicey, tight game. Because if
Yeah, it
he
is.
doesn't get it-
I mean, Reath's getting... It's 3 for swords, isn't it? So Reath is...
Why he didn't pay for field dressing? He did.
He did. He just hasn't taken the days token off of his
So
Vision
do you
yet.
go, here you go. Here's the question for you: do you go 5 dice into the martial artist of Iron Fist, or 5 dice into his Vision's fights?
Whoa, I would probably go into Vision, to be honest. But I mean, Iron Fist without the reroll, you know, his martial artist actually takes more damage than you think it does.
I don't know what I'd do. But
I would consider going into Iron Fist because odds are he should roll a single picture that isn't a block, and Reath should roll 3 out of 5, right? If you're playing the exact numbers, that's the 1 damage you need.
I'd go into Iron Fist expecting him to block 2 and hoping that I'd get 3. 5 into 5 is such a... This is basically for the game. If he misses this, Josh still has a chance. If he if he does whatever he does to damage to vision, he just wins it straight up.
That's right. Oh.
Either or.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's crazy. What else does Lizard's attack do? It has a push or something as well, doesn't it?
Wild push, yeah. That's,
yeah.
Well, it's irrelevant on division and not a big fist.
That's it. Vision's unpushable, and Iron Fist will just whatever. He's already done the field dress, so.
Yep. So one attack for the game.
I would still. Would you hear? I'd still Heroes for Hire this straight away. I don't want it to go into Vision.
Well, it doesn't matter where it goes into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question, if you're Reath, the question is, do you want to get kicked or not?
Well, you can Heroes for Hire yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'll do Iron Fist because he can only throw him into from that angle.
Yep.
I think. Oh, maybe you can throw him to top of screen.
It is a size 3 as well, which means it can target the Lizard.
Because you don't want Lizard to be thrown towards the bottom of the screen. You want to try and wedge him in there so he can throw vision.
Yeah.
Man.
Is there a world where he can kick Lizard along the top of that car?
No, I'm silly. He should attack Iron Fist because he can't Heroes Fire himself because it costs 2 power. He's only got 1.
There you go.
Yep.
1 power short.
Just attack Iron Fist.
Yeah, agreed. Salt Trader. Is this your YouTube account, Morgan? If he picks Vision, can't he Heroes for Hire and get a throw lane away from Vision? Yes.
Oh, Phil, you stuffed it. You went for Vision because now the Heroes for Hire throw will push Lizard away. And he won't get a throw.
Yeah, if he can get far enough down from Vision, from Lizard, you can kick him away.
Yep. So a quite large misplay there.
Assuming that Fink capitalised on it, right? We've already seen Fink miss 1 or 2 of his bigger chances already.
I think Jesus, all he has to do is move up, flip a console, and take 2 hammers, 3 hammers off Sin, and it's
2 is below average, so I would fully expect this to do no damage. Yeah, there it is. That's the averages playing out. Oh, got a reroll. Oh, he's been blessed.
So that would have done it if he attacked Iron Fist as well.
Yep.
And he's probably spewing here that he didn't wedge him right up against that car either.
Yeah, he's left some breathing room there. I'm just concerned that Fink actually didn't place his Vision further. He could have, his Iron Fist. He could have absolutely placed that Iron Fist further to the right side of the screen. Okay. You know, where you can't see because it's on stream, but where my mouse is currently, and then absolutely kicked that Lizard away. But it looks like he's going to be able to anyway.
So this is a huge misplay from Phil that has cost him the game, potentially.
Yeah, and this also shows why Heroes for Hire is almost a bolt-on for... It's definitely a bolt-on for Iron Fist. I don't know if it's a bolt-on for Luke Cage yet. I'm actually looking forward to getting some games with him. But Heroes for Hire is an exceptional card, guys, because it is a mid-turn stagger if done correctly.
Well, it doesn't matter who carries it, whether it's Cage or Iron Fist, because they never pay for it.
True.
A bolt-on for Cage as well.
I meant in terms of the Iron Fist auto. He auto gets it every turn for himself.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so his is slightly above curve, but I think Luke, I reckon on average is tankier anyway because of his -1 damage.
So huge misplay from Phil there because we're now going to see probably Vision move up, flip that bottom or the top console for 3 points.
Well, he's already in range of it, I think.
Oh, he's already on range, is he?
Yeah, I believe he measured earlier when he moved up there. Remember, he hasn't moved for turns now, so.
Yep, that's right. And so this is going to be a massive.
A very, very. This is why also Vision showing off just how good his throw is, that he can hit Sin there.
So Fink's going to win the game this round because Phil.
I think so.
Wow.
It's crazy how just a single decision like that can do these things. Big block from Phil. 1. He needs to roll in a dodge here. No, he needs to. You're right. He's only got 1 health. He needs to block more.
That should be game over. I'm stunned by that. I think Phil had it in the bag.
Yeah, me too. 3 hammers. So, what are the ownerships looking like? So Fink is going to own the top sword. He should own the top sword. He's going to move and pick up all 3 of these hammers, and he'll then own the bottom sword that he just saw Iron Fist come from as well. So that is going to be a 6-point swing to Fink.
Yeah. So the 2 big questions.
Wow.
The first one is to Josh about the Okoye field dressing, and the second one is to Phil. Well, probably the first one to Phil is he can hear us for himself.
Don't mind me, I'm just writing on my head.
The old sergeant's notebook. I like it. Wow, crazy game.
Yeah, I honestly did not see that turn panning out. After Phil's initial start on that turn, I did not see it panning out like that in my wildest dreams.
Well, it's an easy answer to the Okoye field dressing as you go. I'd save it till.
Yeah, that's it. I intentionally saved it till now.
He's not wrong because it won him the game.
Yeah,
Right?
that's it. I mean, it's the right choice, isn't it? Sometimes, you get lucky in things like that where just a couple of things go your way and a poor decision in an arguably poor decision in an earlier turn can pan out to be, a stroke of genius.
Yeah, that's right. He had the long-term vision, if you will, to see it.
Oh,
But Philly not attacking Iron Fist, I think, he'll be very
that will
upset.
haunt his dreams.
Well, in fact, he's still got a roll for this sword base, by the way.
True.
I
Yeah, that's right, because it's... unless you just kill Okoye, you got 3 dice out for what's happening here.
he must be going for Okoye.
So we've done a throw only, haven't we? So we still got a single attack. We have a triple double. Wasn't there 3 hammers on? Wasn't there 3 hammers? I think there's 3 hammers on vision. It's just not showing up as 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 to start with, but
I think Okoye, mate.
is she going to survive? I think she's going to survive.
3. She's going to survive on 1.
Classic.
So it's okay. So I thought it was game over, but I actually didn't realise.
There's a chance.
Yeah. So it's a 50-50 roll to win the game.
I'm going to zoom right in on this 50-50. Don't even need to see what the rest of this is.
We did say at the start, didn't we, that sword is pretty dicey. So this is it.
Oh, yeah. And he's done it with style points with a crit as well.
Sword, I hate it.
Oh. Well.
Yuck.
Jarvis moved Finkster's VP token from 10 to 10. Must have been a misclick. Wow.
Because he doesn't get that, Phil probably wins it next round.
Oh, I absolutely. I think he would absolutely win it next round.
He won't be happy with that.
Oh no, absolutely. The Iron Fist Heroes for Hire will haunt him for a few for at least a week until he shakes it off.
I wonder if he forgot or he just didn't realise
It's difficult sometimes to just especially characters like Iron Fist, which are just typically you assume they are flush with power at all times because they're 2 a turn, all of their attacks or his main attack auto gains power. Your standard Iron Fist is always floating around with 3 to 5 power kind of thing. So
it's not his power, it's who's been predicted.
oh yeah, no, I'm talking about you like you were saying you target Iron Fist because he only had 1 power, so he couldn't do the kick away with the Heroes for Hire.
That was my stuff up. That was literally game costing.
Oh, here they are, gentlemen. How are we going?
That was such a stuff up. Kicking myself.
Yeah, I bet. We were just literally talking about it. We got a couple of questions for both of you, so I was just going to give you guys a few minutes to, debrief amongst yourselves, but you've slid into my DMs anyway.
We chatted as we sort of played.
Yeah.
Hey, well done, Fink. Really, really well done to recognise a tiny little opportunity there for you to slide through and get that win, so well done, mate.
I was telling Phil, thank you. I didn't deserve that. I made some terrible mistakes early on in my deployment, and then that vision where I could have had the 5 power to field dress Sam and try and save him. I'd made the mistake of trying to roll for the point when I could have just kept the 5 power and then got him to then save him. But
I'm going to shamelessly steal Morgan's pun, but do you think that it was because you had the vision to not field dress with vision early on that round, and then again not field dress your Okoye at the end of last round to take out Sin to then save it for this moment?
Yeah, I definitely had the tunnel vision on what I wanted to do, which was to not immediately field dress, because if I did, then he would have just re-dazed Sam or whatever. And I thought I needed to save it for someone more important than Okoye. Okoye is amazing, but she has a job, and that's to throw herself in front of the damage. So I was saving it for someone more worthy, like Vision. Yeah, but good fun.
That's fair. No, thank you, mate. That was all on Morgan, mate. He used it, not me. I just shamelessly stole it right in front of him. Morgan, any questions for Fink?
No, I'm just proud of you, Jay. I think you're ready. You and Jess to have children, so you're ready for fatherhood.
Like my dad jokes? They're strong.
Yep. Approved.
Approved. I got the tick of approval. Reath, unlucky, brother. That was at the start of that turn, we absolutely were talking about how you've absolutely just sealed the deal there. Exceptional Sin play. It was really great to finally see Sin on full show for everybody to see it happening. Your roster's just so well built. Well done, man.
Yeah, thank you. I've literally, I even thought about the Iron Fist bit at the end, but I think that cost me. And Fink's squad was very, very difficult to play into.
The vision not being able to be pushed and in the power phase, did that throw you at all, or something that you already had thought about, or?
No, not really something I considered in the I guess the analysis side. Something I've realised, like I checked it prior to doing it, so I didn't declare anything into it. But that lack of control, even though you're winning board, really hurt. Having a 4 threat, that's probably the damage dealer really here in the matchup that you can't control, so it takes a lot of the edge away from the matchup, especially noting my list doesn't have a whole bunch of energy attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's his main damage dealer and your easiest source of problem solving there, which is the sword secure, is not available to you. So that's interesting. Hey, also we got to pay props. Really, really well done on that Dark Rain and Blind Obsession. That was, you really threw us with how you played them out, but it ended up, being a stroke of genius. So, got to pay some props there.
Yeah, it sort of took a while to think through, I guess, the best mix of where the Dark Rain versus Blind Obsession were. And I think it's sort of, luckily that sort of paid off. You never know with Okoye when you're throwing dice at her, even with reels, she can sort of tank her way out.
She's immortal. We all know it. Especially, we were laughing about the current track record of all you've got into Okoye. You must be the first person I've ever seen to take her out with one, to be honest.
I'll be honest, I was raging pretty hard at that point.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Any other moments in the game that you want to highlight? Moments that you thought out well, or moments where you thought you made a big mistake and you had to try and scramble to fix?
I think I misplayed on that Okoye play near the dumpster there. I think I ended up using all you've got early, and what I should have done is just bit the bullet and moved over to the console and interacted. I went for his Okoye to try and save Sin, which worked out, but I think the all you've got cost hurt me too much.
True. We were also talking about, we thought up until this turn that was the moment that the field dressing should have come out, because Okoye hadn't activated yet, so she can then be field dressed at will from Vision. You've dazed yourself in the middle, so he can flip that back with Widow, no problems, and then Okoye can have a stab at taking out Sin to make her drop her hammers. So when that didn't come out, we honestly thought that Finkster had dropped the game at that point, but obviously fought it back and got the win anyway.
Yeah, I think I misplayed massively at the end, but it was still dicey. I did the odds just before I did that attack, and it was 65% to get a damage, so it wasn't wonderfully high percentage play even then.
True that. Props to both of you guys. Thank you for letting us stream it. There's a heap of guys in YouTube and Twitch right now that are really impressed with how Sin works. There's a lot of people that had not really given Sin the lookout that she deserved, and Fink, a lot of people had written off Vision and just assumed that he was in the pile of 4 threats that were no good. But Vision used to be the best 4 threat in the game, and his medium throw and his lack of being pushed and all these things going together showed off why he was the king at one point.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and I'm really, really glad we got this stream, because I've always said that Phil is an absolute clinician with the Cabal. To see Zemo's, bubble, to see Sin, Crossbones, double activation, the tactics cards, he just put on a display of how well to play Cabal. I don't think I deserved it, but I'm glad we've got that on stream. So if anyone wants to see how to play Cabal really well, watch any of Phil's games.
Yeah, I've got a heap of Reath games up there.
Not the last turn. I think two mistakes I made. One was I should have gone lizard first and attempted to push away and bait the. And I think I should have left Zemo for the last activation because he can get where he needs to and he's more reliable with damage.
True
So that was probably the two misplay parts that I sort of kicked myself for at the end.
Hey, Philly, the one that really stood out to me was attacking instead of attacking Iron Fist with Lizard at the end. Did you have a look to see that Iron Fist couldn't afford to play Hero's Pyre on himself?
Yeah, I did. But I'd already declared it. I think by the time I haven't rolled dice, but I would have been doing Fink a disservice, I think, if I had declared the attack already. And I think by the time the light bulb went on, it was a bit late. And then at that point, I was then hoping for the push sort of into here to adjust the angle in such a way that I would have been pushed into the car. But
So it was an oversight on who you just sort of rushed it a bit and an oversight.
yeah, I should have taken time. And by the time I think I personally declared, and it's probably a part of my game I can clean up. I declared the target before I probably should have, and I should have taken a couple more minutes.
Yeah, because that quite literally. I mean, you might not have done the damage. You ended up the damage, but if you got one damage through, you won the game.
I had to throw. Yeah, I can just throw vision. Yeah.
Yep. Massive.
That was it. That was all you needed. Just that one single damage, one single power. There was so many points in that game, to be honest, that hinged on a single damage or a single power or, someone living, it was a really, really great game to watch.
It's also why I hate Sword. I find it way too swingy. I don't feel like I've got control at all.
I hate playing it.
Actually, that last roll from Vision, if Josh didn't hit 50-50, the game next. So
Yeah, I think I would have had Pryor, and I pretty safely would have cleaned up, I think, the rest of his team there.
I think so.
Yeah, we agree. That's what we were taking. If Josh didn't roll that damage, roll the crit to flip the consoles, then you get an extra turn, which is all you need to, wipe the rest of the board out. It was really, really great to watch, guys. Thanks for letting us stream it. I'll get out of here and let you guys do an offline briefing where you can swear at each other and call each other names. But give me 2 minutes and I'll be back in the channel.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, guys, that's it from me. More Marvel to come. Got my round 3 opponent coming up, which should be interesting. I think I'm versing Criminal Syndicate this week, which should be a bit of fun. With my Midnight Sun, so I'm looking forward to that. I've got my 737 school for the next few days, so I'll try and get that done in the night time, and if that's not happening, it'll happen on the weekend. So apologies for the lack of videos coming out lately, guys. I've just been absolutely swamped with this course, but it ends in a few weeks, and then once that's done, we'll be back to the regular, 3 to 4 uploads a week of Marvel. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the gifted subs, Dead Baron again, and Pat as well for the sub. Really appreciate it. Helps keep this all going, like Marvel's the only source of income I get from my stream. The rest of it I just do for love, and Marvel is something I love doing, so I'm happy to keep doing it. So thanks, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day /night / whatever it is for you guys. So take it easy and peace out.